And I'm Patrick.
I'm Tasha.
I'm Terry.
Oh, yeah. And I'm Garrett. Oh, it's all about the melanin, y'all.
That's what we're talking about. Look, this topic right now is about Saraya Rees. Some of y'all might know who she is. For those who don't, I'm going to give you a little bit. You know, Saraya Rees is a young mixed black girl, but a black girl at the end of the day. And she's going through it, y'all. She's in jail right now at the age of 15 over some bullshit. You know, the case first came up when she was 13 years old. And she was arrested, just give you a little bit, she was arrested for endangerment and harm and arson. But the way the story plays out, you kind of will sympathize with what she's doing because she had a mental issue. And she was on some psychosis pills for her issues. But the pediatrician in her case said that she could be off of it, you know, and give the authority for her to, you know, not be on it anymore. But it had an effect on her in that aspect. So go and research, and I'll give you the link to read the story because I want to go into how much of the story and what she did to the media is out there. But we're going to give you our opinion on this whole thing. You know, it reminds me of a story about a white male that was at one of these universities and that committed a crime about raping some woman in the back of a dumpster. It also reminds me of another white male that went through this whole thing, and some people died and ran over a couple of people. And they say that he got off because he was a victim of wealth. He got off because he was a victim of
affluence. They call it affluence.
Yeah.
Affluence.
Yeah.
That's the word. Affluence.
And the one about the white male raping this woman in the back of a dumpster, come to find out later it was a black woman. And a lot of people know about that, research that. But they say that the father argued that it might ruin his life, his future. You know? I say that to say that, you know, okay, well, I mean, this child doesn't get no privilege. Saraya don't get no privilege. She has a documented mental issue. Documented. And the judges, everybody in the process, the lawyers, there was no leeway given to this woman. They're going to give her up team to 15 plus years.
Oh,
15,
wow. Okay.
20 plus years. Over something what? Does she have a documented mental issue?
Right. Okay.
You know? And what is that? It doesn't make no sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Go
So,
ahead.
they're locking her up because they consider it arson. So what she gonna burn up herself? That's
Well,
what I'm assuming.
No fire was lit. It was gasoline, but no fire.
Well, no.
Can I
Well, give the
interrupt you for a
context. Give the
second?
context.
Yeah,
Give the
let's
I'm
put
giving
this.
the context, but I'm just saying because
She poured
sat
gasoline
in-
over the house.
Yeah, she
and,
poured it.
Yeah,
on
she
the floor
just sat
and
in
she
it.
sat in it.
Yeah,
but
she
I'm just
didn't.
saying she's
She
gonna burn
didn't.
up herself. But I guess they're looking at it because it was other people, which was her siblings and her mom. But I'm just looking at it like they're locking up her black half. I'm just assuming because at the end of the day, when you look at her, the girl clearly, to me, looks white.
Well, mulattoes are black. No.
Well, okay, mulattoes are black, but I just said when you look at her, to me, this is just my opinion, the girl looks white. I mean, that's all I'm saying. I mean, I ain't trying to be racist.
She got a light-skinned black girl.
Well, yeah, and I
point of
think
view, but-
I don't know. Part of the issue, I don't know if we said this earlier, but this is like in a particular area in Oregon, because the story actually comes out of Oregon, and
Coos County.
Thank you, Coos County, Oregon. And I don't know, I'm not super familiar with, different parts of Oregon, but I know a lot of the areas in Oregon are going through a gentrification, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so,
True.
yeah, there's a lot of that going on, and not, you guys, I don't want to be racial about it, but she did have a white mom, and her siblings, now she is half white, right? And her siblings are fully white. So that means that her dad is black and their father is white, right? So to me, the idea, the understanding that I'm getting from this situation is Saraya grew up surrounded by whiteness, right? And whether you know it or not, being surrounded by whiteness, you're surrounded by white supremacy. Right? Mm-hmm. And even the mom said that she experienced a lot of racial antagonism. People called her the N-word. Now, mind you, the mom didn't say that. It came from her, from the family. They didn't say that.
No, the mom did.
Said,
she did say she'd been called the N-word a lot, and she did kind of highlight the racial part of it. She did.
In school.
Yeah, she said that.
She was called that in school, but not necessarily from the family. But what I am saying, that sentiment wasn't absent from the family, right? Who's to say she didn't have that feeling in the family? Yeah. So now you have this.
Well, who's going to teach her she's black? She's surrounded by white people. Who's going to tell her she's black? No one's going to tell her she's black. No. Well, no one's going to tell her she's black. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And I think that she's actually going through her entire life. No one's really understanding that this is a black woman specifically. Because it comes different between a black man. You know? I mean, to a certain extent, I think we kind of get that a little bit faster when it comes to, in terms of discrimination, and in terms of like when we're going out there to the world, black men might hit that faster because like women kind of sense to really get into the society a little bit more. They kind of blend in, even with black women. Now this will be just the discussion for later, but my point is since she's like mixed race black woman, you know what I'm saying? That discrimination for her, it seems like what people that is not of that descent kind of really hits them at hard. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of really go after them because it's like it's not so much that you're a black woman, but you're a black woman that is a spawn that is a spawning of a mixed racial like offspring is what I'm really trying to say. So they kind of really go after her. You know what I mean? And to really think about her situation. And just to really say, and just to really, we're looking at the scope of it. She has not been guided in any type of way from her mental illness all the way to up into her incarceration. How do you have a DEA convince you that you should plead guilty? Oh. How do you have a DA? Thanks for bringing that up. Let me tell you something. This the PM Hour. This your boy Gary. And one thing about me is that I am all about the law, and I'm about my melanin and my brothers and sisters. So this kind of subject I want to talk about, being about the law. How do you have a DEA that convinced you to do that? Yeah. That's one of my things. Now, this girl had absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's definitely systematic. I'm infuriated. That was so infuriating. And I'm not going to stretch the point, but the thing is this: the system, this is definitely a systematic thing, and you absolutely know that she has absolutely no guidance in the sense of what happens to black people. I don't want to use minority. Ice Cube talked about that because when you say minority, you include other races. No, we're talking about black specifically. Mulattoes are black. Whatever anyone says, and when no one disagrees, and when anyone tries to say, mulattoes are black people. If you are in a mixed race and one of your parents are black, you black. You're just a black person. Debate me. We can bring it on here on the PM Hour. You know what time it is. Please subscribe. You know what. But I just wanted to just make that last point just to say that because she had no representation. She had no representation. So, of course, you're going to get convinced. You're going to get convinced into doing things that's not really applicable and for you. And when it comes into the law and black people in law specifically, she was charged with first-degree murder, first-degree arson, right? And she didn't even burn nobody. First-degree murder? How do you get a first-degree homicide on a person that didn't even kill nobody? It was attempted. Sorry. It was attempted. It was attempted. Mm-hmm. So let's just go ahead and put this into context, right? How do you get someone to plead guilty on all these top murder charges when there was really no intent?
No crime.
No crime.
That's the outrage.
No crime. No outrage.
Right. And okay. I just have to say, reading all the media outlets and articles and videos around this case, they don't touch on the racial part. I know that's what we're doing, and it's a lot of speculation. But however, seeing the pattern of everything we've gone through as a people and everything that we've seen, reason to believe that this is a part of it. The mother even highlighted something racial, We clearly see that she's a biracial child. The father is absent. The father, we don't know that whole side, and there's nothing been said about that. We don't know if the break in her mentality might have been the catalyst in the home. We don't know that, But this kind of case brings up a reason to speculate. Look, Saraya is going through it, okay? This young child don't get benefit of the doubt. And there's a whole campaign out for her from change.org right into the PM Hour, along with change.org, and to keep attention to us because we want to highlight certain things like this. Look, if we want to feel like we have to protect black women, then we have to protect our young black women, our black women children.
Yes.
That Saraya is my daughter. Saraya is my daughter.
She family.
She's family. She's part of the diaspora. So we need to protect her. And this whole thing is going on. So that's what I'm gonna say. You know, that's
no,
go on.
No,
come on.
No, but you know,
share the story.
Yes,
come on. We gotta keep it up.
Why we
come
bring
on,
a lot of this stuff.
Let's support our black women out there. You know
now.
what I'm saying?
I
make the point, but you know what? I am not afraid. I am not afraid of making this point on a consistent basis, on a daily basis, and consistency. I have to let you guys know we have to support our black women. We have to support our black women.
Yeah,
and we have to let them understand that we got their backs, man. As brothers, as men. And as boys, as all levels of when we go out there, we have to understand all of our stories. You see our stories. They be about women sometimes, and we have to understand that it's a community we're trying to build.
And you say, brother, you know, sometimes I feel bad that black men can't protect our women as much as we need to. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes me feel bad, you know? So, write into us, go to change.org and sign the petition and everything you need to do to support this woman. Put everything you out there. We need to build this up. We need to raise the campaign on Saraya Rees. You know, to get out there, get her out of jail. She's in jail right now, 15 years old on some bullshit, and she might spend a whole adult life in there.
One love,
okay.
We're
going out. We don't have much time, but get on this. You know, write to us, subscribe to us, follow us, like us, all that.
Oh yeah, subscribe,
you know
please comment.
We're gonna keep it going.
Please comment
about cases like these. We can feel heated about. I'm heated about this. All right, we out. Thank you.